Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, and physical media is dying, isn't it? I mean, who still buys DVDs and Blu-rays, right? Well, there are a couple reasons you should still be buying physical media. These three reasons are your ownership time, your picture quality, and your color. Now, I'd like to first start off by saying if you're comparing streaming to regular old DVDs, there is no competition. 1080p streaming shows a picture that is 1080 pixels high. This is also known as high definition or HD, while DVDs only show an image that is 480 pixels high. This is also known as standard definition, and standard definition is the same amount of vertical resolution that was used in old cathode ray tube TVs from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's basically the minimum resolution for something to be watchable for long periods of time. So if you have the option between a DVD of a movie and the streaming version of a movie, I would suggest you buy the streaming option of the movie just so you can have a crisp picture. But now let's get into the real debate. Should you buy Blu-rays of a movie or should you buy the digital version? Let's first talk about the color quality of the image. Now, you're really only going to see a difference between color quality if you're using the high definition 4K Blu-ray disc with high dynamic range and Dolby Vision or some enhanced color system. As an example, here's a comparison of the streaming version of a scene in Godzilla King of the Monsters and the 4K Blu-ray version of the same scene. Now, I'd like to note that these were shot at different exposures and the focus is off in some of them, so the quality is terrible. Don't look at the quality. Just look at the colors. Now, personally, I prefer the color and depth of the 4K Blu-ray, which you really can't adequately see through this YouTube video. Now, let's move on to picture quality. Now, I assume most of you are watching this video in 4K, because I uploaded it in 4K. But I also know some of you are watching this and had to downscale the video to 1080p or even 720p in the settings so your internet could handle this video. For those of you who had to downscale this video, I would encourage you to buy the Blu-ray, because if your internet's not able to handle 4K or even 1080p streaming, you'll be able to get that image quality with a Blu-ray without having your streaming service lag out. Now, for those of you whose browsers can handle 4K streaming, you're not actually watching it on a good quality. Now, for this part of the video, I am going to have to talk about bit rates. Now, a bit rate is basically how much data you are putting into the image. For 4K streaming, at best, you are going to be putting in 45 megabits per second of data for your video. That is 45 million bits of data. And trust me, none of you watching this are getting 45 megabits per second for your video. The average megabits per second for a standard internet user is approximately 12 to 25 megabits per second. And you'll get about 192 kilobits per second for your audio. This can take a hammer to your picture quality, giving you terrible compression artifacts that take you out of the movie and just make the image look terrible. While if you're watching it on a 4K Blu-ray, you can have a bit rate of 123 megabits per second because that optical disc can store more data. And this is a ton more quality being put into your image. Plus, 4K Blu-rays can support completely lossless audio and much better surround sound. This means by technical standards, 4K Blu-ray is leagues better than the best streaming conditions you're going to get on your internet. Now, for the last reason, this is not about picture quality, your sound quality, or the color of the image. This is going to be about ownership. See, when you buy an optical disc, you own that DVD, Blu-ray, etc. There's no question about that. That is yours. But if you're buying from a streaming service, you're not actually buying it. You're more or less long-term renting it. See, when companies like YouTube sell movies, they're not selling it. They have what's called distribution rights, which means they have the right to distribute the movie itself. But distribution rights don't last forever. So you can have a scenario where you have a movie you've paid $20, $30, $40 for. But then the company will lose those distribution rights and you'll completely lose that movie from your library. So, while you might have your streaming movie for the rest of your natural life, you might lose it after 1, 2, 5, or 10 years. While, on the contrary, if you keep a 4K or regular Blu-ray stored in the correct conditions, you can get them to last up to 150 years. Plus, if you buy a 4K Blu-ray, they usually give you a regular Blu-ray copy so you can get the benefits of both. So, you're not going to lose it after 5 or 10 years. So with all this evidence, I think everyone should be buying physical media, but of course, this is my opinion, and it's ultimately up to you what you guys choose. So I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comments and below. Thank you for watching, please like and subscribe, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.